Hey adventurers, so today is going to be another book tag. This is actually the first book tag I've done in a while, but this one was created by David Wiley just recently, like a couple of weeks ago, and he tagged me in it, and so I want to do it. It's got some different types of questions in it than the generic booktube questions, so I'm excited to do this one. Anyways, this is called the what's it called? The Extraordinarily Average Book Tag, I believe, something like that. Anyways, so we'll get right into the questions. I don't have my computer here today because that takes too much time, and so I'm just doing it off my phone. So we'll go through the question. What is a book that is viewed as average but you felt was extraordinary? This was one that I'd have to, if I really wanted a phenomenal, spectacular, perfect answer, I'd have to think for a lot longer than I ended up doing. But the first one that came to mind was Annihilation. This is by Jeff Vandermeer. This is a book that I read and absolutely loved, but I've heard some people love it and I've heard some people hate it, and it's just like there's not really an in-between, and because of that, the two extremes, it kind of evens it out in terms of the rating and makes it a kind of an average rating, which is that the rating on Goodreads is a 3.75, which is technically above half, above average if 3 stars is average, if 3 out of 5 is average. So it's technically above that, but that's the book that I chose seems to be viewed as average, but I thought was extraordinary. Then the second question, who is an author who is viewed as average but you felt was extraordinary? So this is basically the same question as question 1, only for an author rather than a specific book. And this one, again, I'd have to think a lot longer than I ended up doing to come up with a great answer for this, but I do actually like the choice that I came up with, and that is David Farland, or Dave Wolverton if you're reading sci-fi, and I think he actually goes by one other pseudonym for other stories as well, and I can't remember what it is. But all his books are right at that 3.75 star pretty much rating on Goodreads. So there's some that are higher, there's some that are a little bit that are lower, but they're all right there, and it doesn't, he's not an author that I hear talked about all the time, but he's clearly a very prolific and important author to this modern genre, seeing as he taught Sanderson. So those things kind of all come together for he should be better known than he is, and I think a lot of people have heard the name, or have heard of some of his books at least, but I don't think as many people have read them. Question 3, who is a musician or band whose music is considered average but you felt was extraordinary? This one, I've got quite a few answers for this one, all of them and even more that I didn't write down, but I ended up kind of sticking to the same theme as David Wiley did in his video, where he was doing a lot of more Celtic inspired music. And yeah, me too. That's it's kind of what I tend to listen to. He mentioned he mentioned Medieval Babes, and it's like, I don't think anybody has heard of them, and I'm like, I have heard of them. But yeah, so anyways, just some other ones that I threw in there. The Secret Garden, it's a duo. They wrote some of the music. Some of their music is in the movie The Secret Garden, I believe. But some absolutely beautiful music from them. Also Neil Byrne and Ryan Kelly. They're actually both members of Celtic Thunder, which is another band that it's a show, it's not a band, but I absolutely love Celtic Thunder. But the two of them together went off and did their own thing, while still separately from Celtic Thunder, and it's amazing. Their two voices go so well together, and it's a lot more acoustic than it is rock or the various other genres that Celtic Thunder plays with, and I really like that. The other one that I threw on here is Rachel Hardy. She's mostly a cover artist. She does have some of her own original music that she has released, but mostly she does covers, and she's amazing at doing the covers. But one of those just kind of YouTube musicians who not a lot of people know about. I mean, I could mention Taylor Davis or Peter Hollins or so many other people, but most of them are actually quite a bit bigger, and Rachel Hardy's pretty small. She deserves to be known a bit more than she is. Question 4 is, what is a TV show or movie that is considered average but you felt was extraordinary? My answer for this one is not one that I think most people would think of, because I think they would think this is an average show. But for me, it felt like the show was designed and written specifically for someone like me, and that is Arrow. I absolutely love Arrow. It's the mixture of the archery as well as Green Arrow, who is one of my favorite DC characters, and just the way that they told the story. Yes, it was a ripoff of Batman in many ways, and it was this thing, that and the other that everybody says about it, but it worked extremely well for me in a way that most DC properties don't. So yeah, Arrow. Question 5. What is a booktube channel whose subscriber count is average but you feel is extraordinary? And this is the channel that I only decided to go for one channel in this video because of time. I coming up with more and then editing more as I talk about them. Editing them into the video is going to take time, and I don't have time tonight. So the one that I came up with was Bookends and Biscuits. This is a great channel. I think she's only at like 350 subscribers or something like that. She deserves far more than that. One of those very laid back, just easy to listen to channels. Yeah. Okay, question 6. What is a skill you are average at but you'd like to become extraordinary? Like David, I would like to be better at languages. He specifically mentioned Old English and Old Norse, and yeah, I'd love to learn those as well. But the ones that I went with is Spanish, because I do know I have pretty good baseline understanding of Spanish, but I don't have the grasp, the fluence. I can't speak it fluent. I can't hardly speak it. I have a good basics, bottom line, whatever, bottom full. I don't know what you want to call it, but I have a good basis that I could build upon, but I haven't done that yet, and I'd really like to get better at Spanish. But also there's a multiplicity of other languages, including Russian and German and Gaelic, and actually Arabic is the newest one that I'm like, okay, I kind of really want to learn Arabic now. So those are the other ones. But then he also mentioned bladesmithing in his, and yeah, I agree. I went blacksmithing as a whole, not just specifically bladesmithing, but I'd love to get into blacksmithing. I think that'd be super fun. Question 7 is his interesting one, and the one that is a bit harder to come up with an answer for. And that is, you find a time machine that will take you back in time for a day, but the day you select must be an average day. Where would you go, and what would you do to make the trip extraordinary? So David's choices would be brilliant. He mentioned going to the Library of Alexandria. He mentioned, I can't remember what the other one that he mentioned is, and then the third one he mentioned was the going to a day when Tolkien would be doing a lecture, possibly on Beowulf, and then going after that and going and listening in on a meeting of the Inklings, and both those choices would be super cool, as well as the other one that I'm forgetting that he said. But the two that I came up with 2 examples or 2 answers, and the ones that I went with would be Britain set during Britain during the time that is supposedly the reign of Arthur, and just to see how true the myths are. So King Arthur is one of those characters that a lot of people don't believe is real, and then there's a lot of people who do believe he was real, or some form of him was real. Probably not exactly what is in the various Arthurian legends. In fact, the probability of that is very slim, but so what I would do is I'd go and I'd want to see what I could, just see how true the myths are and what of the myths are true. And then the other option that I have is ancient Israel during the reign of like King David or King Solomon, kind of the height of Israel before it turns to idol worship again and just starts going downhill. Kind of that height of Israel, and just to see what that would be like. I think that'd be fun for me. And then question 8 is, you win a week vacation, but all the popular travel spots are all booked out. Where would you go, and what would you do to make your trip extraordinary? And this is one that really doesn't matter. Anywhere that I'd get to travel would be great. Specifically, the first 2 answers that come to mind would be Ireland or Scotland. I'd love to go just wander the hills, go look at things, go see what it looks like, view it for myself type thing. There's plenty of other places, Switzerland, Germany, most of Europe. I'd love to see a lot of other places as well. A lot of places in Africa and to Asia that I'd love to see. But just, I also wouldn't really care. Anywhere that I go would be fine. I wouldn't, like, even going just down into the States somewhere and visiting family or something would be great. That'd be more than enough for me to just be happy with my vacation. I guess, let's see, Tunisia would be a cool one. Anyways, but yeah, so just, there's so many places that I would be happy to go. And then question 9 is the general tag some friends, but this is specifically tag some extraordinary channels. And I, again, didn't come up with a ton of answers for this one. I just chose to do 3, and that is Jeremy Fee, Bookish Chaz, and Kelly Reads a Lot. I don't know if any of these, I know Jeremy Fee does tags pretty regularly still, but I don't know if Chaz or Kelly do tags very often. That's fine, you don't have to, but they're just other channels that I think are extraordinary, and you guys should all go check them out. Anyways, that is my answers to the Extraordinarily Average tag, book tag, created by David Wiley. Thank you guys for watching an Erudite adventure. I will make sure to have all the channels I mentioned linked down in the description down below. We will see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching. Stay warm.